Hey, beautiful shining stars. So I apologize. I know this video is going to look like really crappy and I'm a mess. But I really wanted to share with you all um, kind of like insights on the energy that we're in. Wow, my hair is really bad. But it's live, it's almost midnight, and I just really wanted to get this out there because because of the situation that I'm in, it's been really hard for me to create content. So with that being said, I want to share with you guys about being able to manipulate your own energy. And I have this whole other channel that as soon as it's up and running, I will share the magic with you. Now, I was doing a video the day before yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, for one of my on-call clients, and it came out really strong about how other people try to manipulate our energies, and they try to kind of shift us into their vibration, right? They try to get us to do what they want to do, and then they kind of like will get in our ways and they'll make us feel responsible for this and that and the other. And of course, I don't have my journal with me, but I've been doing a lot of work these past couple of weeks, especially since that major portal shift in September. So late September to 18th through the 20th, I can't even remember exactly. You all know because you've seen my videos that my mother-in-law came to visit to live with us. So we were contacted by the authorities that she was not in a good state. So when I would talk to her on the phone, she did seem disoriented, but I didn't know how severe her situation was until she started living here with us. Now, my mother-in-law and me have not had the best relationship. Were like very estranged because she was one of those people that I allowed to take my power when I was very young. Because I met my husband when I was 15 years old, and we got married at 16. By 17, I had our first baby. So it's a time in your life that you're very kind of vulnerable and receptive to other people, especially when they're older. And my mother-in-law was in her late 50s when I married my husband, because she had him in like her late 40s or her 40s or whatever the fudge. So anywho, point is that she was not very good with me. She used to call me names. She used to tell me that I wasn't going to amount to anything. If you don't save money, like it was like a very negative vibration between me and her. So I kind of went through that for a long time. And one of the last times that we really um, had any kind of connection relationship was right before she kicked my husband out of the business. She had made him vice president of the business. She had said that he was going to be like the owner. She's going to leave it to him because she has, and I'm sharing really, really personal stuff with you guys, which I don't do. Usually I share this on my Patreon. But anywho, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because for when you're that age, you're very young, you're very receptive. I've always been taught to respect our elders, our parents have authority over us, they know better, da 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 da. And being where I am now, I'm almost 50. And when this woman comes into my house, seeing her in that frail vibration, she has severe dementia. I think they told us, I don't know, there's like different levels of dementia, and she's like a 7 or 8. It's like very, very intense. And something that happened was like last week. She had a UTI, and apparently that made her even more intense. And she decided to start like hitting me, and she hurt me. I have all kinds of bruises and cuts. That's why you see all these cuts that I have on my fingers that I'm wearing band-aids, is because she grabbed one of my makeup, no, they're not makeup, jewelry, one of my jewelry displays, which is wire display, and she literally started hitting me with it. So it was a very intense situation, but everything is for us to learn. And something that I learned is that no one has power over you. No one has authority over you. Not your parents, not your children, not your siblings, not your mother-in-laws, not your bosses, not Anybody, not even the presidents of the United States or wherever you are, the government, no one owns you. No one has authority over you. No one can co create for you. This is between you and the divine, your co creation. So when you do something for someone, is because you want to do it for them. Not, you have to like set boundaries and balances. um, I've learned so much from this experience, so much from this experience, because everything that she talked down to me, she doesn't have. She would bitch at me and my husband about saving money. She doesn't have a penny to her name. She doesn't have a penny to her name. She doesn't have any properties. She doesn't like nothing. And you know the worst part? She doesn't have a funeral. Me and my husband now have to, you know, co-create extra prosperity for a funeral. It gets worse. She has a son, which is my husband's older stepbrother, um, in Venezuela, and he has schizophrenia. He's autistic, and she was supporting him. She can't support him anymore because of her state. So then that's like a whole other thing that she put on us. So I'm sharing this with you guys because we think that these people, these bosses, these parents, these guardians, these teachers, these whatever the fucks, have all this authority over us. They talk down to us. They make us feel small. They create all of this negative vibration over us. I was sitting with Spirit when I was telling Spirit, like, especially that you notice that I do a lot of wealth classes. And I always had an issue with manifesting certain amounts of wealth. Like I would get to a certain point, I've gone to the six figures, but then what happens to me is it's kind of like this repetitive state that it's almost like I lose everything and I have to start over. Of course, I learn with every downfall because now I have collectibles, I have gold, I have silver, I have things that are worth money. I have insurances, like you learn from your mistakes and your patterns. And when I was doing like deep down work, it was my mother in law. My mom did a lot too, but my mom is abundant. My mom is a very abundant person, and my dad too, even in his chaotic situation. And my great grandmother was super abundant. So a lot of the magic that I learned from abundance comes from them. But then being so young and that the prime, especially when you're a young adult and you're kind of like figuring life, right? Excuse me. And you have someone that's telling you that you're not learning right, what you're doing is wrong, or you're never gonna do this because of this. And it's a constant thing. This is like it's like a daily hammering over me, right? Sometimes it places these negative vibrations and then they embed in your subconscious. And a lot of the time, when I would visualize certain prosperity, certain abundance, these vibrations, these memories would surface. Of course, I know how to tell ego, this is not mine, that's a lie, it has nothing to do with me. But it wasn't until sometimes you have to really see the picture. And these past couple of weeks, I really saw the picture, like literally in my living room, because that's where she was staying. And right now she's in the hospital because of her infection. And I'm not going to lie, I'm afraid of her coming back. And we're trying to make accommodations to see if we could put her like in a rehabilitation place because she's really mentally far gone. Like she's very, very gone. And of course, I have my work. I'm like doing all this content creation. I'm working on my journals and my books. And you guys see me now on TikTok. So still have to pay the bills. Um, so I've been really as I'm writing, I updated my How to Script Your Dream Life. It's now available in soft cover. I'm ordering some. So once they come in, I'm gonna do a giveaway for you guys here on YouTube. And I have some TikTokers that are gonna promote my books. I'm super excited about it. I'm just like really like so much magic is occurring. Like so much magic is occurring. And this vibration that we're in right now, that we're going to the 1111, it's a portal of your dreams and desires because the karma just started going forward. Remember, I told you, if you saw my last videos where I talk about, I was talking to Spirit, like, what the fuck is going on? I feel like we've been in Mercury retrograde all of 2023. This energy has not lifted. I feel like I'm doing readings and I feel like, oh, this is gonna be a crazy energy. I feel like we go from one crazy energy into a crazier energy. So on the fourth, or sorry, was it the fourth? I think it might have been the fifth. I'm gonna be honest. I felt it more so around the 6th of November. Saturn went direct. So Saturn portrays a lot of karmic energy. So I feel like that energy that was going on was for us to kind of make peace with our past, for us to karmically go through the things that we needed to go through in order to progress and move forward. This is why a lot of you guys are questioning your relationships, are questioning your jobs. Are you living in the place that you want to live? There's so many, like, I've been doing readings for you guys this past couple of weeks, and it's like, oh, you're gonna move. Oh, I see a promotion. Oh, I see a new job. Oh, I see a separation. So it's like sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want a separation. I love my beloved. But sometimes we need those separations so we could find ourselves. And then you have to ask yourself, well, is this the right person for me? Am I with my soulmate energy? Am I with my beloved? Am I with a person that is going to help build me, and we're going to build a partnership, and we're, going to have this beautiful life together? So there's like a lot of questions. Another thing that I realized was this. So this is gonna knock your socks off. So my mom was always, because I've always been the breadwinner. I don't know if it's my energy or what it is. And my husband works. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bum. But for some reason, I always make way more money than he does. I don't know if it's because I'm super creative or I'm just super abundant. I don't know. The point is that I've always been under this kind of like dogma. Excuse me. Need water. I choked. This is what happens when you do a live on your bed. You could choke. So, sorry about that. So, my mom has always been like, the husband has to take care of the wife. Now, my mom has never worked. My dad has always paid all the bills. But that's not how it goes. My dad works, he makes the money, he gives the money to my mom, and my mom pays the bills because she likes to pay the bills. I think she just likes to hold the money. So she's always like criticized that I'm the one that pays the stuff, that I'm the one that makes the money. So yes, there's times that I'm just like, I don't want this responsibility. I just want to relax. And I've told my husband, I was like, I want to get to the point where I pass everything over to you guys, and I don't want to deal with like the bills. Because I tend to like sometimes forget things, like really stupid things. Like I think it was last month that I forgot to pay the internet, and they got my internet, and I was so upset. I was so upset because I don't like automatic, because sometimes the money is not in the account and then something comes in. I really just like me knowing that, okay, I have to pay for this, and then something else comes in and takes the money. I really, really dislike that. So I'm not the best at remembering the bills, even with a planner. So I write things down and whatever. The point of what I'm sharing with you is that I sat down with Spirit, and I was like, and Spirit asked me, well, do you like taking care of everybody? Does it make you feel good? Or do you feel like they should, you know? And I thought to myself, I was just like, I like taking care of my family. I love to have extra money and say, here, my son has 3 daughters. Here's XYZ gold. Or I'll cash out my granddaughters, or my daughter's like, hey, mom, I want to go eat somewhere. I'm like, let's go. I love to do that. So why do I have to feel less than because I'm a woman and I pay more or I make more. Why? So it took me to really sit down with that and write it all out and be like, my husband actually does make really good money, and yet he pays this and that or the other. Why does that energy, have to be real? Why does there always have to be some kind of, I don't know, mayhem over like stupid things? And it's always because someone says something. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. So today I'm TikTok, and I have this witchy confetti that has gone like a bit viral, which is Amazon. And of course, once you start getting popular, the haters will come in. Those jealous people that have no lives, that are jealous, that are envious, that are green, and they always have something negative to say. And I'm very, very sensitive. So I'm here, and then I read that, and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I didn't send enough, maybe this and that. So I start questioning myself, right? Because I'm a very giving person. So, and then I thought to myself, Daisy, you paid $11 for butter. You paid $11 for butter. You're charging people for knickknacks $8, and they're on sale, so it's all the way at 7. You're not even making any money. Like, you know what I'm doing with that confetti? It's literally moving like stuff that wasn't selling on Etsy because Etsy got really, really slow. So it's kind of like me just moving product. I'm not even making money. Like some of the stuff that I'm like selling on TikTok, there's no profit. But instead of having the products at home, because Etsy is kind of like going through its whatever, I rather move the product and have room for my house because I'm in a major shift of moving into a new home. So I'm very happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm super grateful because I'm like, all these people are getting all of these awesome little knickknacks and crystals and stuff that are just sitting there, that they could enjoy, the bracelets. And I even found myself making new products, which makes me really happy. So I'm like, why is it that people can't say nice things? Like, why is that someone is sitting in their home just thinking negative and have to, I don't get that. So the same thing goes with anything that anybody says. Your how is it? It's your attitude. It's the power that you give them, right? I did make a video because I want to share, because of course she's on my TikTok, and it's like other people are going to see that and be like, oh yeah, she's selling a selenite, a small selenite stick for $10. And I'm like thinking, no, I'm not going to give her my power, you know? And, I shared a video explaining and sharing like all the stuff that I'm doing, and, how much it costs more or less, and how much I'm making. And, you know, um, don't give people your power. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth giving anyone power. And just like the situation with my mother-in-law, and I feel really bad for my husband's brother, but the truth is I have my kids and I have my grandkids, and it's not my fault. It is not my fault that she decided, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago to not be responsible and do things accordingly. So we're kind of finding a plan for him in Venezuela because he does have family, for him to stay with the family, and maybe for us to kind of send, whatever we can, as we can, when we can. Because in the beginning, I felt really bad. Like, oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do that because I have to take care of this and I have to take care of that. And even through her dementia, because she doesn't do this to anybody else, she has so much hatred towards me, so much, that she lashes out on me. Everything is my fault, and you have to ask yourself, why do you have these people in your life, regardless of the situation? Because another thing that I told my kids was, if I get in that state, God forbid that I live to be 90 like she is, and I become to that state, I don't want you to keep me at home hurting you or hurting my granddaughters or my great granddaughters for that matter, or grandboys. Um, don't, and here at 50, I'm making a plan. and that's what you have to do. Your life is about setting goals and intentions and getting ready for tomorrow, planning for tomorrow, but living today in love, in harmony. So when other people tell you that it's your responsibility to pay all the bills, or it's your responsibility to take care of this person or that person, you have to ask yourself, is it my responsibility? Is it really my responsibility to do this? Who said it? Who made that rule up? That's what our world is surrounded by, all of these people that are making all of these rules. And then when you see them in the state that I see my mother in law, Miss God Almighty, powerful woman that talked down to me for 15 years, my youth, and I see her in that state, and I'm just like, we all go into this kind of like death type energy, right? We all in this lifetime, we have a beginning and we have an end. And sometimes all these people that we give authority to, we give our power to, we give our life essence to, they don't deserve that. So I feel like this karmic energy is guiding us to shed all of that weight, all of that weight, all of the people telling you that your beliefs are wrong, your skin is wrong, your love life is wrong. Who are these people? What gives them the authority over you? And and the part that I feel like is the saddest is when it's our parents, our guardians. That's the part is the saddest. Because when it's a boss, it's just like, screw them. I'll get another job, you know? But it's really like today, like my husband has a boss that she's like bitch of the century. And I'm going ethereally. I haven't been able to do it because I've been so busy, but I'm gonna go ethereally to tap into her vibration to see what the fuck her problem is. Because usually when I do that, I'm able to kind of find their spiritual, their higher self, and really tap into that and connect with them. That's what I do in spell work for you guys. When I'm working on your beloveds, I go in and tap into their energy to see. Sometimes it works, but sometimes people are in such a dark space that they can't get out of their own way, So it all depends. It all depends. But through this energy that we're going through, tap into your own light and ask yourself, who are the ones that have diminished your lights? Who are the ones that have felt like they have authority over you, that made you feel that you were responsible for XYZ and you're not living your lives in the way that you should, in the utmost way, in the blissful way, in the dream state way? Who are they? Why did you give them their power? And, I think about that all the time, because sometimes it's our parents. Like my mom used to do that to me a lot. She used to be like, every Thanksgiving you have to go to her house. I don't even like Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is the worst celebration you could imagine. And you don't know if you noticed, but a lot of deaths always happen around Thanksgiving. I feel like it's for all the massacres that happened on that holiday, right after. It's like, I'm sorry, but I feel like that day should just not be celebrated, and it's my deep down belief. And I, told my mom that, I don't even like turkey, it's like, I'll share Thanksgiving with you because I know it's your thing, but I'm not going to be there every Thanksgiving, so I just like to stay home and watch football. That's what I like to do, make sure that I'm ready for Christmas. That's, I go right over Thanksgiving, Christmas, November 1st, Christmas. So she has her beliefs, I have my beliefs, and you have to create a respect, a balance, a boundary, so people say, okay, Daisy, you don't like Thanksgiving? No problem. And if I'm not going to go to your house for Thanksgiving and you're my mom and I love you because this Christmas I'm staying home, you're more than welcome to come over And if you don't want to, that's fine too. So the point is that you have to create a balance. You have to create respect for yourself. Because if not, you're always going to be that little person that they're always eating up. And for me, it took a long time because in my youth, I was that little girl. I got married when I was 15. I had my first son before I was 17. So it's like they always saw me as that child, that person that just doesn't know or doesn't think or whatever the fuck. So it took a while for me to gain that respect. And even then, they still try to take my power. People are still trying to take my power through TikTok, through whatever. So you have to ask yourself, when are you creating? When are you the co creator of your life? And I mean co creator because it's just you and the divine, not you and anybody else. And the new books that I have coming out are really going to be awesome. My scripting book has, if you buy the soft cover, it has prompts in it so you could use, have writing spaces so you could use. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm also creating handmade, coffee stain, energized little scripting workbooks that I'm doing on TikTok. So I hope you guys follow me there. And I have a new channel coming up, just trying to organize everything. But remember, you are the creator of your reality. And that new video that I have on how to manipulate energy is going to blow you away. It's going to blow you away. And I also, because he wrote a book on how he sold like a bunch of copies of this book. So I'm sharing with you guys. His name is Andrew Cap. This book is really good, by the way. Can you tell? I have a million post-its inside. It's really good. It's really good because what I love about him is he's very similar to me in breaking things down to a way of understanding them, because when I found like The Secret when it first came out, I felt like it didn't really explain it. And I want to tell you something else. You tap into the law of attraction, the manifesting energy, when you're ready to tap into it. Because sometimes we'll say, you have to think about your thoughts. You have to control your thoughts. You have to manipulate the energy. But you don't understand that until you understand that, until it's something that you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. So I'm going to share it with you, a little secret that I've been using myself. So what I do is, let's say you're going through the day and you're going to have negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are always creeping because you have negative people around you all the time, especially those of you that go to work. I work from home and I still have negative people because I'm on social media. So they come through me. They come to me through there. So you have to not allow those energies to come into your vibration. So what you do is you take your power back, right? And how do you do that? Per se, that negative comment that I got, I called her beautiful. I said, thank you, beautiful, for your comment, and I took the powers, and it's understandable if you can't afford, a $10 thing, that's fine. That's all on you. And then, I share what I offer, and then I went ahead and I apologized to others just in case, somebody got something that they weren't happy with, whatever. But I did not allow that to stay in my vibration. I addressed it right there and then. So sometimes through the day, you're going to have negative thoughts. So you're going to have to pay attention. And in the beginning, that's really hard because I don't know if you remember my story with the dishes. There was something about me and the dishes. Every time that I was doing the dishes, all of the negative thoughts were just pouring in. And what I would do was like, I would replay like things that were said to me or something that I went through that made me feel like ass. And I would just replay it and how I should have done this or I should have done that or whatever the fucks. So what I started doing to clear that energy is that when I used to do dishes, I would play podcasts. Now I do a lot of affirmations or I'm listening to positive, music that I love, right? So I cleared that energy. So what I'm doing is I'm paying attention to that. It's almost like your inner conversations is when you're like thinking about, let's say you're having problems with your beloved. They're a complete ass. This happens all the time. I'm married, so I totally get it. and they did something that pissed you off, you don't understand, da da da. So what I do is instead of replaying all the things that he did wrong, all the things that I should have told him, what I do is I'll re-script in my mind. Okay? And this takes practice. There's days that I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I'm going through this. I feel down today. And those energies are fine. You're going to have those days. But the more you try to take responsibility for your thoughts, and again, you have thousands of thoughts a day. It's really hard to control them all. But you'll notice certain reoccurring thoughts. And again, like this could be something pivotal in your life, like having a fight with your beloved or you wanting your beloved to do something and then not doing. My issues was what I told you, that I was always said and taught, oh, the man has to do this, the man has to do that. And then I would play that mind, was like, oh, he doesn't do this. Oh, he doesn't do that. But then it wasn't until I sat down doing the shadow work that I noticed that it really didn't bother me. Because Spirit's like, Daisy, but does that bother you? And I was like, it doesn't bother me. Why do I let it bother me? It actually doesn't really bother me, And then going and having that conversation with my husband and be like, hey, let's try this out. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. That's great. Yeah, let's do that. So it's like, you see how, like, I noticed how that works, how those energies work. And it's all by focusing on my thoughts. Again, you're not going to focus on all your thoughts because you have thousands of thoughts a day. But it's that inner conversation, that inner dialogue. Those you got to pay attention to because it's reoccurring. And usually it's the same inner dialogue. It's usually something that's bothering you, something someone did, or something that you didn't say or you didn't do, or whatever the fucks. Those are the ones that you have to change. So how you change them is, I like to journal. So usually when that happens and I notice that the dialogue is very intense, I usually sit down and I write it all out. I purge whatever I'm feeling. I purge all of the thoughts that are really boggling me down. And then I ask, why is this bothering me? Is this really bad? Did the situation, the person, whatever, did they really hurt me? And once you kind of like peel it down to the point that you are like taking all of its power away, you're like, wow, no, of course that didn't hurt me. I mean, I remember I used to get so worked up over people cutting me off. Now, Miami is a pain in the ass. Sorry if any of you guys live there. I'm so glad I left. Driving in Miami was like, I think if I would have stayed in Miami, I would have had a heart attack by now. Like the driving there was so bad. And it was so bad that I used to get home and I was in such a bad mood that it was like I couldn't even stand myself. It was so bad, so chaotic. So the best thing I did was move out of there. But it's different. So that's all about shifting and finding somewhere better. Always finding somewhere better. If you're in a house and everybody's, it's time to, move away. If you're in a job and your boss is an asshole, it's time to shift and get a new job, because that's going to just bring you down. It's going to be a constant thing that's going to work on your vibration. And that's why you're not manifesting. And that's the main thing I noticed. The reason why certain items, certain things that we want, you don't manifest is because of the dialogue. So you need to find out, is that dialogue, does it have merit? Or is it just like, for me, it was somebody else's opinion that I allowed to enter my zone. So it's a lot. And I can't do, we're already 30 minutes into this. I always give you so much information. It gets better. Hold on. Okay. So those of you that took, I don't remember what class it was, but I shared with you the Neville Goddard video. I think I've watched it now 1,000 times. I'm dying here, guys. You can tell I haven't done any videos in a while. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. My throat's so dry. So Neville Goddard talks about how it's so important for you to live in the end. And I shared this with you guys. So something that I noticed when I do my visualizing, and I know there's like a 1% of you guys that come to me and tell me you can't visualize. Elmer, I forgot his name. Everybody could visualize, by the way, because I had some guy who told me that some scientist, some doctor says that some people can't visualize. If you can't visualize, it's like riding a bike. You address it and you work on it. Of course, everybody has different levels. You know, some people see whole pictures, some people see glimpses. So everybody sees it at a different level, but we all visualize, we all dream, right? So we all visualize. Anyways, the point is that you want to, when you're going to bed, when you're in that really, really sleepy state, you want to see the end. Meaning, let's say that your dream is to drive a Lamborghini. That's all you care about. Because I get people like that all the time. They're like, I don't care about anything else. I want this. So let's say that's your desire. You don't care about anything else. You just want to be driving a Lamborghini. So that's what you want to do. You want to see yourself driving the Lamborghini every night for 30 days. See yourself in that state. The end. Don't see the how. Don't look at, oh, I'm going to win the lottery and buy the Lamborghini. I'm going to do this and buy the Lamborghini. No. You don't want to do the how. You're co-creating. Remember? You want the divine to do the very best way for you to have a Lamborghini. So your responsibility is simply to go to sleep every night, seeing yourself driving the Lamborghini. For an example, for me, I think it was super funny because I did 100 sales of my book for TikTok. But one of my true intentions was to get more views on my TikTok. And I did that. I did it didn't give it too much energy. It was more like, I would love to have more, more people on my TikTok, more sales, whatever. And it's been slowly going up, and it's like really cool because I see now interaction. I'm seeing people, they're commenting every day. So it's like really, really cool to see that. And I did that without even really doing it because I didn't sabotage it. Because sometimes we want something so much that's like we put all our energy to it and we're constantly thinking about it. I don't do that anymore. I think about it in the morning. I journal about it. I go to sleep to it at night and I leave it alone. I don't focus on how. Because if you start like, well, if I get a lot of people always think, and that's why I share the lottery, because I get all the time people say, well, if I win the lottery, I could do this and that or the other. And that's fine. People win the lottery every day. But you don't want to think about the how you're going to get this or that. You want to think about you in that state, in that place. If it's a relationship, you want to get married, think about you married. Think about your wedding. Start buying bridal magazines. Start cutting out the dresses that you love. That's what you want to do. Or you want to get engaged, get yourself a ring and put it on. Feel that ring and feel that state of you're already engaged, So the whole thing is feeling as if it has already occurred. And it's not easy, people. If somebody tells you that that's easy, it's the biggest bullshit in the world, because you're literally trying to trick the subconscious, right? To thinking that this is already happening because you are in that vibration. So you have to be, it's almost like, and we repeat this all the time, it's like trying to listen to, how sometimes, and this usually happens with the NPR, which is the Public Broadcasting Network, is that sometimes, because they're not the best stations, because it's public broadcasting, so sometimes those frequencies will tune to other frequencies, and you have to call back and forth, because if you go too far over here, it goes into this channel, and if you go over there, then you might hear it a little, and sometimes it gets a little crunchy. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you are trying to be in the NPR and you're maybe tuning in to something else, you know, you're kind of like confusing the state of manifesting. So, and it's going to happen. But here's the best part, it is your positive thoughts are stronger than the negative ones. Light, think about this. Put yourself in a dark room, turn off all the lights, and then turn on a little flashlight and look at how the room lights up. Just a little flashlight. Isn't it crazy? So, the same thing with your thoughts. The positive thoughts have more power than the negative thoughts. So, one positive thought will circum all the negative thoughts. I find it easier when I do shadow work. You know, that shadow work that I gave you guys for free, you can repeat that over and over and over to release a lot of those negative hidden agendas in your that you stored into your beautiful DNA, your beautiful subconscious, you know, that are in your body. So I hope I brought you a lot, a lot. I know I haven't been here a while. I'm sorry. Um, I'm still adding to my Patreon because I promised you guys in November would have a lot more content since October was crazy. I mean, it was nuts. I can't even explain the craziness of October. The 11/11 rituals, I emailed, they're on my webpage. So if you want to be part of the 11/11 and you're not my on calls, you have to message me because the last day to sign up will be tomorrow because I have to prepare for them. So I like to do things starting the day before to give it that extra energy. So message me at lovegoddessdaisy at Yahoo that you want to be part of the 11/11 and I will message you back. Namaste.